What is up, guys? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're looking at, you guessed it, some more r/mi the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, as it all really helps out our channel. And don't forget you can follow us on podcast too now, so you can take us with you wherever you go. And if you want to be super awesome, you can support the channel either by clicking that join button below on YouTube membership, or heading on over to Patreon, where you can join with different tiers and levels and all that kind of good stuff. And as I say every single day, thank you so much for your support. You're absolutely amazing people, and I just hope you're having a great day right now. And with that being said, let's get into today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story comes from Woodbear Chair. Am I the arsehole for discriminating my grandchildren? My daughter Elle got pregnant in her 20s and gave up a child for adoption. Though my husband and I were upset, we fully supported her and thought she was strong for making a tough decision. She's doing well now and is married with kids. Her husband knows about the child she gave away for adoption. A while ago, we heard from her daughter S that she gave away. Our granddaughter contacted us sobbing that her adoptive family had given her away as a baby and she was in the foster system with an abusive family. She's 12 years old. My husband and I agreed even though Elle didn't want her, she's still our grandchild and we have the resources to help her. We adopted S and now she lives with us. We got S a new wardrobe and redid our guest room to be her room. We also made a college fund and put about 60k in it. Basically, we treated her like how we treated Elle. S is now our daughter by law and in our hearts. Elle was indifferent to us adopting S. However, Elle went ballistic when we told her about S's college fund. We didn't think Elle would mind since we paid 80k a year for her college education, and S is now our daughter too. Elle is mad because her other kids don't get a college fund from us, even though Elle and her husband have already gotten it taken care of. But Elle says that we are spending more on S and aren't treating the grandkids equally. She says that her kids will resent us and Elle for not being treated like S. However, S is our daughter now and Elle's kids are our grandchildren. S has no support system besides us and we treat her just like Elle. We don't discriminate among our grandchildren, and if Elle has taken in S, she would have been treated like the other kids, aka no college fund. Am I the arsehole? Edit, thank you for the kind words. I'm so happy about all the well wishes that S has gotten. I've been getting a lot of messages about this, but we weren't the first people S contacted. S contacted Elle first. Not sure exactly how she got the contact info, but I remember it being an open adoption. S wanted to know more about her family and Elle thought that we were the best people that S could find answers from. Elle did tell her why she gave S up, but told her it was a hard decision she made a long time ago, that she's not sure if she'll be able to take S again. I'm not sure if S has her birth father's information or called him. She knows about him and the circumstances though. I'm not going to go into like the circumstances of adoption because I can't imagine what someone must be thinking or what they're going through to want to give up a child to hand it to the adoption system. It must be incredibly tough. But what I will judge her on is how entitled she's being, saying about that her kids don't get a college fund. She should be providing that like her parents did for her. And I love it in these stories. You don't see it very often when we get some positive information that S is now living with a grandparent, got a college fund set up, and is just ready for life now. It just almost brings a tear. Wow, it is bringing a tear to my eye actually. What amazing grandparents. Oh, she's so lucky to have them, and I'm so happy for her. Let's go down into the comments and see what's going on down there. Shanuni says, can I say not the arsehole twice? Not the arsehole, you are a saint. It's your money, your choice, and your daughter. I'm honestly astonished at Elle's level of entitlement. Your 12-year-old has had a rough go of it, and is something just short of a miracle that you came into her life and took this enormous challenge. What a superstar. Congratulations on the adoption. OP replies to this, thank you, it's not a challenge at all. S is remarkably well behaved and a sweet child. While her grandpa and I have been crazy during this COVID situation, she's our rock. She also does so well at school, and we're hoping to add more in the college fund because we know she's going to achieve great things. Oh man. Shinudi replies to this saying, well, it sounds like she's a superstar too. What a resilient kid. You all really lucked out. Himit replies to this saying, I'm really glad to hear this. Make a little time for your other daughter too. If Elle's actions are out of character, my guess is she's probably dealing with a great deal of guilt right now and not coping well. An understanding ear could mean a lot to her. And that's a good point as well, you know. Although she's been extremely entitled, you know, she's probably got some real mixed feelings going on right now. Daisy Cherry Blossom says, not the arsehole, you're treating S the same as L. S is legally your daughter and not your grandchild, so she shouldn't be roped in with the grandchildren. The grandchildren already have both their parents to take care of them, and their grandparents to dote on them. Meanwhile, S seems to have a terrible life and needs more help than the grandchildren to get up on her feet again. Maybe your daughter is guilty about not stepping up and using you as a scapegoat for her guilt. Continue supporting S, I'm rooting on her. Opie says, we're all rooting for S. I get worried about her sometimes because of what she's been through, but she's been remarkable. Depressed Dyslexic says, I'm not going to pass judgment, but Elle might need some therapy or something. It's hard to give birth in your 20s and then 12 years later have your parents adopt that child. She probably wanted to put this all behind her. You did a lovely thing, but Elle might need some professional help adjusting. And with that being said, I'm going to have to say, like, nobody's the arsehole in this situation. I know Elle, she is, well, actually I'm going to say she is an arsehole for the entitlement. I can't excuse that, I'm sorry. I know she's going for a lot, and like these last couple of comments just said, she's probably got some real mental issues happening right now with the guilt and everything, but I can't excuse arsehole behavior, like complaining that she's getting money, you know, it's just not on. Wow, not many stories bring me to tears, and happy ones at that. I love it. Anyway, I'm going to turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 1. Our next story comes from Anonaut. Am I the arsehole for refusing to change out my bikini to save my niece's feelings? My husband assures me that I'm not the arsehole, and I agreed at the time, but now feeling a bit guilty because I don't want to upset anyone, a child least of all. Since I've been home more for quarantine, I Marie Kondo'd my closet, which means getting rid of all of my old bathing suits. They all lost elasticity or were worn out, except for one. This is relevant later. This past weekend we had a small family gathering at our house because it's hot and we have a pool, and quarantine limitations have been lifted in our area a while ago, so we finally decided to get together for the first time in 3 months. My husband's parents, his brother and wife, SIL, and their 2 kids, niece 9 female and nephew 6 male, came over. So we're all in the backyard barbecuing and getting ready to swim. I change into my swimwear and come outside and start applying sunscreen. SIL rushes over to me and pulls me aside and asks me that I cover up or change into something less revealing like a one piece, as niece has been sensitive lately and dealing with some body image issues regarding feeling fat. She's not. I tell her that regrettably this is the only swimsuit I have anymore due to cleaning out my closet, and I plan on swimming as it was sweltering hot, but after my sunscreen dries I'd be happy to throw something over my swimsuit until I'm actually in the water. She then asked me if I could just go inside then, at least until the sunscreen soaks in, and come out covered up. I was like, no, I'm not going to hide in my home for 30 plus minutes while we have company over and that we haven't seen in 3 months. SIL says that it will hurt niece to see me in a 2-piece because of my unrealistic body image. I tell her there's nothing unrealistic about me because I'm a real person, so I don't even know what that means. I'm sure niece will be fine for only 30 minutes. I also said that while I sympathise with body image issues, I've dealt with them in the past myself. It's probably not helping to just shelter her from seeing people's bodies and maybe work on body positivity instead. She says that I don't understand because I don't have kids, so I sit in the shade to apply sunscreen and let it soak in, and she takes her niece inside for over half an hour before coming back out. I don't know if I'm in the wrong here. Maybe I could have just gone inside for a while to spare my niece's feelings, but at the same time I feel like I shouldn't have to hide my body, and at my own house for that matter. And it was like just a 2-piece, it wasn't like really booby or revealing. The top was high cut and kind of like a sports bra, and the bottoms were normal bikini cut. They weren't a thong bottom or anything. I didn't notice that niece was upset until SIL definitely was. Maybe niece was just hiding her feelings. I don't want to add to her body image issues and feel kind of bad now for reflecting on it, in case I made her feel bad. Am I the arsehole? Edit, wow, I was not expecting this kind of response. Thanks for your judgment everyone, I'm replying when I can. There's a lot of people dragging SIL in the comments, but I will note that she's generally a good person, even though she may have come off badly in my post. I personally don't think it's her fault, and suspect social media or peer pressure is the cause of niece feeling bad about her body, but that's just my personal speculation. Usually I'd start off a post like this with saying like the sister-in-law, you know, although she said some absolutely arsehole things in there, her heart is probably in the right place. She's just looking after her daughter and wants the best for her, so I try not to judge it too harshly. But then you read something like when she says to the OP, she says, you have an unrealistic body image, which is body shaming in itself, you know, it's ridiculous. And then says as well, you wouldn't understand because you don't have kids. You know, it just screams assholeness at me, you know, even though the OP said at the end she's generally a good person, which she probably is, but saying things like that is, you know, it takes the piss basically. And I would personally suspect that there's something deeper here that's just not from social media. She might have seen this around the house. I don't know if she had a sister or anything like that might be going through something similar, hates her body, you know. And you can understand why people are body conscious, because, you know, it's just plastered everywhere, both men and women. There's models all over the place. It's starting to get a little bit better these days, tiny bit, not very much though, but you'll still have like, this is the ideal body shoved in your face everywhere. And I personally just think it's about education and talking about it with your family and understanding, you know, live your life, be happy kind of thing. I don't know, I might be talking crap here. But let's get down in the comments to see what we can find. Pavel Lishin says, not the arsehole, your house, your body. If someone has a problem with it, they're welcome to leave. And then quotes, I didn't notice that niece was upset, but SAL definitely was. Maybe niece was just hiding her feelings. And then says, I have a feeling that the niece isn't the only one with body image problems. OP then quotes this saying, that's a possibility, I imagined it, but I just didn't want to assume that's the case. Both SIL and niece are a tad chubby, but I wouldn't call them overweight, so the insecurity could lie with either one of them. If it is SIL with a problem, not my niece, then I'm really disappointed she'd use my niece to cover up her own insecurities. Pavel then replies to this again saying, I'm 100% assuming that your SIL wants her daughter to be skinny. OP replies once again saying, I'm honestly not sure. If she wanted her to be skinny, then wouldn't she want her to see me as a role model or something? I think she's just being overprotective or possibly projecting her own insecurities on her daughter. I'm not sure my niece is the insecure one, but I'm just accepting the information SIL gave me. I don't want to assume she's lying. Niece does have a very skinny best friend though, so it's very possible she is struggling with body image from comparing herself to her friend. Oh god, it went from a happy one in the last one to seeing, I hate it when children have body image issues, you know, it's just so not fair. It's so not fair. But anyway, I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. Our next story is from Tangerine Honesty. Am I the arsehole for not wearing a bra in my house? I, 18 female, sometimes like to lounge around in my house with no bra on, if I know I won't be going out anywhere for the day. I actually don't mind wearing bras because I'm small enough to where it doesn't really matter either way, but sometimes I just don't feel like putting one on. My living room faces the street and has a giant window smack dab in the middle of it, and I was sitting on the couch watching TV. Standard fare. Obviously, you can see me from the window, but it's never been an issue until now. My neighbour, a middle-aged woman who I've barely interacted with, knocks on my door, and when I answer it, she starts berating me that young children live in the neighbourhood and that me not wearing a bra is perverted. Apparently, she'd been walking past my house and she saw me stand up to get a snack and noticed my boobs were flying free. Which makes no sense to me because I'm a B cup, but okay. I told her I'd do whatever I want in my own house, but now I'm starting to feel like maybe that was wrong of me to do. I'm mostly weirded out that she was looking at me so hard that she noticed I'm not wearing a bra. Lol. Am I the arsehole? Edit. If you use this post to send me DMs asking for pics of tits or tell me that I sound sexy, then you're a freak. Typical Reddit. I mean, there's several things that I need to question first. Was she topless as well as braless? I mean, were her boobs? Not that it really matters. I mean, you want to, as they say, fly free. You fly free. Let them swing around. But, and I'm sort of assuming that the window wasn't big enough that you could see her constantly sitting there, like, just with her boobs out. I'm assuming that's the case because she said she stood up and then the woman could see her. So I'm assuming when she's sitting down, you can't see nothing anyway. So unless that woman had her face pressed against the window every time, peeking in, I can't see how the OP can be the arsehole in this situation. However, if the window was big enough and say the window was right on the street so you could, all the kids could see constantly, and the girl was just stood there, baps out and everything, just like looking out on the street, then possibility of an arsehole, you know, but still it's her house, so she should be able to do whatever the hell she wants. And throwing in a curveball question here, just because I'm curious, and I'm not sure myself. If it was a male and they had their dingling out and they were stood in the window, would it be the set? Would you have the same answer? I know it's not. Is it quite the same? I don't know. I don't know because obviously boobs and genitals, but but I'm still curious of the answer. What would you think of that one? But let's go down in the comments to see what we can find. Constant Craven says, not the arsehole, but this woman is creepy, unless you're conveniently leaving out that you were topless as well as braless. And Marie Meg says, even if she was topless, it's perfectly legal in most places, and she would be well within her rights. If my male neighbour, who's probably bigger than a B cup himself, can walk around topless, so can I, and so can OP. And Marie Meg says, not the arsehole, you were never obligated to wear a bra, no matter what your cup size or location. If a 34 double D wants to go braless to church, that's her right. If I were you, I'd have taken my shirt off entirely while she was yelling and tried to do a helicopter. Oh dear. I can't get that out of my head now. Korean, not the arsehole. Hell, I went braless all afternoon and then to CVS yesterday in a spaghetti strap tank with 34 H's. I don't always free the nipples, but that's what... Fuck's sake, man. Why do people keep using these? That's really putting me off. I don't always free the nipples, but that's because what goes up must come down and gravity isn't my friend. Heavy bouncing hurts. Ah, dear, I like that. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 3. Free the nipples. The next story is from Andromeda Untouched. Am I the arsehole for unplugging his console? Made this account just to ask this. My boyfriend and I are both in our late 20s and have been together for 2 years. We lived together for 9 months and everything has been going great until recently. Boyfriend works in a highly competitive field and is due for a very big promotion. With the current situation, that promotion was made conditional on certain projects getting done, which has resulted in a lot of added pressure on my boyfriend. When he worked from home, he was stressed from work, but I was always able to relax him, and we had some lovely times together. We'd cook lunch together, go for walks, etc. 3 weeks ago, his CEO asked him to come back to the office for the hot phase, and ever since then, things have gone rapidly downhill. He doesn't work crazy hours, his job doesn't allow too much overtime, but he's often incredibly stressed out when he comes home and spends hours decompressing, usually playing PS4. Now, I've always been working from home, and I've been trying to be as accommodating as possible. I always ask him what he needs when he comes home, cook, try to talk to him, etc. We split housework evenly, which he insists on. Our time together has decreased to the point where it's pretty much non-existent. I've tried to talk to him about this and made a serious effort for a few days, having us sit and talk about our days, but I could tell it only stressed him out more. He told me he just needed some time to himself and that I wasn't helping by being on him all the time. I thought that was incredibly unfair. I've tried talking to him about this again on Monday and all he said was, "Sweetie, I understand this frustrates you, but it's not forever and I need my brain to shut off for a while or I'm seriously going to combust." His current project should be done by the end of the month. I know that, but I'm also frustrated with how little time we spend together. I miss him so much even though we are living in the same 4 walls. We haven't even had sex in weeks because anytime he doesn't play his games, he's too tired to do anything. So yesterday when he came home, I could tell it was going to be more of the same. After having dinner and taking a while, he excused himself to the living room. I was fuming at that point because I felt like he was doing the bare minimum in our relationship. I went into the living room and unplugged his console right in front of him. He got really silent and kinda sad, looked at me and asked what I was doing, and when I told him that I was sick of him only ever playing his PS4 and ignoring me and that I needed to go back to how things had been, he got up, told me that I had no respect for him or a situation and to grab my shit and get out. I was so freaked out at that point I didn't know what to do. I grabbed some clothes, essentials and left to my best friends. My boyfriend hasn't picked up the phone all day. He only texted me once to tell me to stop calling because he was at work. Am I the arsehole? Now I think the girlfriend in this does sound incredibly sweet and caring and thoughtful and all that kind of thing, but also very clingy in a way. And you know, if I was in a stressed out situation, which sometimes happens with work and things, you know, when you got to meet timelines and you've got a big project or something, you know, you just need this time to relax and you don't want someone on your back constantly. I mean, I know it's his girlfriend, I know she's trying to help, but he said this is what I need to do to de-stress, to get away from it all, and there's just no respect for that by the looks of it. I mean, she's saying, oh, I know how to deal with this, so I'm going to deal with it, and it's just not working. You need to just back off from him. So you've pushed him to this point where he's just exploded in the end, and you gave him no choice. So I'm going to have to say you are the arsehole in this situation. Obviously, it needs a big talking to get it all out, and you need to understand he has his own ways to deal with things, and I don't think he needs you pushing him even further. Even though I know you're probably trying to come from a good place to help him, you know, it's an incredible, difficult situation, I think. But let's go to the comments below to see what we can find. Triple Calor says, "Oh boy OP, you're the arsehole. Your boyfriend seems to be under a tremendous amount of stress, and as far as you have written here, he not only told you that verbally, he sort of set a time frame. He made it clear he understands your frustration and asked you to respect his limits and coping mechanisms until his project is finished. And you went ahead and decided your own feelings on this were more important." Samara1010 replies to this saying, "I totally agree with this. Sounds like the boyfriend knows how to cope with his stresses, and OP just decided that they wouldn't accept it." Sparkly Unicorn Lady says, "You're the arsehole. It sounded like he told you multiple times that he needed space and to decompress on his own way, and you escalated it by unplugging his game and making it a difficult situation all about you. Also, you did this after you spent some quality time together eating dinner. You were the opposite of a supportive partner." The Irishman 35 replies to this saying, "Not to mention that he didn't snap at her when they discussed anything. He explained the situation, acknowledged her feelings on the subject, tried to put forth more effort for a time to make her happy. She decided her needs were more important than her partner's mental state." Red-headed Robin replies to this saying, "You're the arsehole. People always complain about their partners not telling us what they need, but it seems like he stated more than once what he needs, which is to be left alone for a while until things at work become less stressful. You say his current project should be done by the end of the month, and this has all started for the hot phase 3 weeks ago. To me, that is not a long time at all, comparing it to the fact that you've been together for 2 years. Maybe wait a little more and give him a chance to finish with his stressful time at work, instead of just unplugging his console without warning." And once again guys, I turn it to you. What do you guys think of this story? If you were stressed and someone done that to you, how would you feel? How would you deal with it too? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. And our final story comes from Possible Wonder. Am I the arsehole for not hiding my scars? 2 weeks ago I had 4 moles removed. One on my arm, the other one's in my stomach area. I had 2 stitches on my arm. I also have scars in my hip area because of an appendix burst a couple of years ago. No scar is longer than 4 centimeters, 1.5 inches. When a friend of mine, 24 female, invited me over to come over and have a pool party, the other people there were her boyfriend, her sister, and her sister's boyfriend, and they all live in one household. I told her that I will come, but that I'm not allowed to go in the pool yet. It was very hot outside, so I just wore a bikini with a light top. I did not have a band-aid on, so the stitches in my arm were visible. The others were in the pool and I was chilling by the side with just my feet dipping in. After a while, my friend came to me and asked if I could put a band-aid on because seeing the stitches made her uncomfortable. Sure thing, I put a band-aid on. After some more time, she asked me to wear pants because of my scars. That confused me. She never said anything like that before and has seen them many times. I told her that I didn't even bring any. She freaked out and told me to go home and get some pants. When I asked her what the sudden problem with my scars was, she yelled at me that's disgusting and depressing. I then went home and didn't return. I get that scars, even if they're small, aren't pretty, but I never felt bad about them before. I also understand that they can be a painful reminder of the past. Am I the arsehole here, and should I hide them in the future? Firstly, that is no friend. Cut them off immediately. They're absolute arseholes. They should never ever treat you like that, and never let anyone treat you like that. Absolutely disgusting. But I'm going to go down a different path on this one. And I'm just going there. This is just a feeling I got. I'm not Columbo, but just one more thing. But what I did get the feeling of here is that she didn't like you in the bikini sitting on the side of the pool because maybe her boyfriend was taking a little peek over at you maybe. And she wanted you to cover up for that reason. I don't know. That's just an inkling of mine. I'm just going down that path. But back onto the scar thing. You know, you guys are around 24 years old, right? There's no way a 24-year-old should be acting like that. It needs to grow the fuck up. But let's go down into the comments and see what we can find. SP10 says, "Not the arsehole, people are dumb. If you manage to stay friends with this person, which I doubt, this will be hilarious when everyone is older and ravaged by time." Flower of Talperian replies to this, "Older made me check the ages, and I realised that I was thinking this immature arsehole of a friend was a teen, when in fact she is a 24 years old. 24 and she has this attitude about scars. Fuck that. Don't hang out with people like this. OP, not the arsehole." Tinkerballer says, "Also, scars that are from legitimate medical procedures, and aren't that big by the way. 4 centimeters is tiny. OP should be like, oh hey, I'm sorry I can't control what my appendectomy scar looks like. I didn't make it, and I was also dying. Okay, thanks." What kind of dumb shit is that? It's vain and discriminatory and in a form ableist. What would this friend say to a burn survivor? "Sorry, but your arm, leg, body, face disgust me and you're a disgusting person. That makes me sad." Fuck off with that nonsense. Too true, right? And blunt to the point. And for the final story, I'm going to turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 5. Once again, guys, thank you for being here. The time out of your day, as I always say, is absolutely amazing. You're amazing people. And, you know, you just blow me away. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you in the next one. Much love, guys. Take care now. Goodbye.